The incident of the week for this episode is the Seth Jones kneeing incident on Jonathan Huberdeau. Oftentimes, it's one where I would have issued supplemental discipline. In this case, it's an incident where I would not have issued supplemental discipline because I don't think it was that dirty. I would have probably issued a 2-minute minor for tripping, but I don't believe it was a knee. And I'm going to go a little deeper into that because there's been a lot of kneeing incidents this month alone. It happens a lot more than people think. Were going crazy when Edler hit McDavid in the knee, and that was knee-on-knee contact. That wasn't a knee. That wasn't a situation where somebody sticks their knee out. And then again, McDavid got in contact with Uyghur against the Flames in the Battle of Alberta. Again, that was just knee-on-knee contact. It wasn't the physical act of sticking your knee out. And that happens a lot. In this case, the Seth Jones, Jonathan Huberdeau situation, I think it's the same thing. I think Seth Jones was trying to make legal contact. He leaned forward. Huberdeau dodged the initial contact with the shoulder, but unfortunately, the only thing left to hit was his leg at that time. But it was Huberdeau trying to avoid Seth Jones that kind of created the contact. Now, I'm not blaming the victim in these cases. I feel like the players were beat and they were trying to make legal contact and they didn't react appropriately to a player shifting their weight and cutting quickly on them. That's part of why the body contact missed is because the puck carriers were able to elude the body check. And unfortunately, sometimes when you move too quickly, you kind of leave your leg back. It doesn't quite catch up with the rest of your body, and it's left for contact. So I'm not blaming the victim, but I'm also not blaming the person who makes the knee on knee contact because really they were just going in to serve their hockey purpose, make a legal body check, and they didn't really change their body position enough. Seth Jones did not stick his leg out. Seth Jones's leg just happened to be there when Huberdeau ran into it. Same thing with Uyghur on McDavid, same thing with Edler on McDavid, and other ones. There was Boldy on Chittle, there was Mason Shaw on Evgeny Svechnikov, Ovechkin on Mo Seider, uh, Nosek on Balsers. That is the only one out of all these. There's a video on my YouTube page, Nosek on Balsers, where I would have issued a suspension because in that case, it was a player who actually shifted at the last second. The player delivering the check made an alteration to their own body positioning, even though the opponent was actually trying to avoid the check and kind of put their leg out in the way. In this case, the player delivering the check also made a last second adjustment to make sure that their leg was stuck out far enough that that player would hit it. And in the case of Seth Jones, I don't believe that that happened. And that's what I look for in kneeing. So some people think I'm actually a little bit soft on kneeing. If it was an actual true knee, I'm not soft on it at all. I go hard on that. I don't. I think that's greasy. I think it's dirty. I think it's one of the worst things you can do, possibly besides a slew foot. But in the majority of the cases where there is knee on knee contact, that is different than the actual act of kneeing. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to issue supplemental discipline in these cases because I feel like if it's just a thing that results in knee on knee contact, then it's more of a trip or more of a thing where the player delivering the check couldn't really avoid it. To me, it's the same thing as head contact. And there's head shots where somebody actually goes and targets the head, and then there's head contact where sometimes you do things legally and it still results in head contact. That's not the player delivering the check's fault. So same thing with knee. There can be knee on knee contact without there being the physical action of a knee, of a dangerous play by the player delivering the check. And that's where I land on this Seth Jones and Jonathan Huberdeau play. You can go watch my video on Have Your Say. That's one of the channels, the playlists I have on my YouTube channel is Have Your Say. You can go comment on that video and let me know how you really feel about what I just said.